So, hello and welcome to the fourth day of the week, Evan. My name is Adrian, and let's start with this the last day of the week, Evan, in English. Tomorrow we'll have it in Spanish for the speaking Spanish community. And let's start with the first speaker of the day. Welcome to the States, Funky. How are you?
Speaker of the day.
How are you, Funky? Welcome to the States.
Funky, how are you? Speaker of the day.
How are you, Funky? Welcome to the States.
Hey, Adrian, I'm getting like the audio coming back in two places.
We listen you also in two places. It's like some time of now, but let me be careful. You have to page is open.
I found it. It was somebody asked for the link, so I gave them the YouTube link, so it's probably playing in the background. First and foremost, Adrian, you've done a fantastic job with this entire event. I really want to thank you and the entire team for showcasing so many wonderful teams throughout the entire ecosystem here in Polkadot. And I'm really happy to be here today and share our vision for Teddy DAO on behalf of Lucky Friday and the rest of our team. So thank you for taking the time and giving us this opportunity.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is totally from the team. So you have here the presentation, yeah, for sure. So thank you so much for being with us today, Funky. It's a pleasure to have Teddy DAO with us. And now I'm going to disappear, and the stage is totally yours.
All right. Thanks so much for taking the time. Do I need to do anything to get that to where it just is the slides, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you move the slides and that's it.
Okay, got it. I wasn't sure because every time it normally goes to full screen. So thank you. Sorry for the technical hiccups, everyone, but really appreciate being here. As some of you know, my name is Ryan Hazinski, aka the Funky One. I've been in the Polkadot ecosystem now for quite some time, about 3 years. And I also have the good fortune to work for an amazing company called Lucky Friday. And we do a lot of different things in the ecosystem. First and foremost, providing enterprise-grade, high-quality infrastructure in our SOC 2 data centers where we run validators, collators, and everything else for the ecosystem. And one of the big missions that our co-founders at Lucky Friday had was to really give back. Our co-founders, Rich and Tom, have been in Web 2 for a long time and even Web 1.0 before that. And they really believe in doing social good and trying to foster that. So as part of our first NFT collection, which we'll see in the slides in a moment, it was really about that. And we wanted to do something to give back. So we're here to talk today about Teddy DAO, which is built on the Moonbeam EVM, but it's one of the things that I feel could really be a game changer for the entire Polkadot ecosystem, especially if our leaders get involved and try to have these donations. So let's talk a little bit about Teddy DAO and what that does. So as I said about me, again, I'm Funky, as most people know, but I'm also excited to be the head Teddy of Teddy DAO. So I do a lot of the day-to-day stuff. If you've been seeing the tweets and engagement that's been happening from the Teddy DAO account, and some of the Teddies also have been getting involved in trying to have, bidding wars where they're trying to up the donations, because at the end of the day, all this is going to go to charity. We do not get any kind of cut from this. It's all about fostering social good. So as I was saying previously, why did we choose Polkadot? Well, first and foremost, this is our home. We are big believers in interoperability. Our own CTO is none other than Paradox, who runs Paranodes. And it's a great team that we get to work with, but we really believe in interoperability. At the end of the day, we know that we're hurtling toward a future in which all different kinds of chains are going to be interacting with one another. And we felt that Polkadot was sort of the home base for doing this kind of work. And this is why we started there, but it's also why we're in other ecosystems such as Cosmos that believe in interoperability, and Avalanche with coming subnets and everything else. So we are also really encouraged by the DAO that we already have here. We had that recent transition to OpenGov in the Polkadot ecosystem. So we really want to try and mimic that. We feel that DAOs are going to be an important part of the future and moving forward. And so we wanted to kind of replicate some of those DAO mechanics in our own NFT project. And so that's another big reason that we believe in doing this on Polkadot, because we clearly are the leaders when it comes to doing decentralized governance and all token holders having a say in voting. And we believe it should be very similar for something like Teddy DAO as well. And then at the end of the day, too, because of just our own carbon neutrality stance, we feel that doing this on, one of the most energy efficient chains and all of blockchain is really important to us. And so that's another reason why Polkadot was the easy choice when it came to being our home for Teddy DAO. And so, what we're really trying to do is change charity forever. This isn't just about Teddy DAO itself. It's about trying to draw in people from Web 2, which we're going to talk a little bit about later in the presentation. And we feel that this is, at the end of the day, NFTs largely at this point have been just all about speculation and nothing else. And so we really want to change that narrative. We want to prove to people that you can do good. And this is why you often see that phrase used in a lot of the Teddy DAO sort of advertising or messaging, because we really believe that it is something about fostering social good and trying to promote that. And to that end, this has been a long time coming, but we actually have been working with Just Giving for a little over a year. Our founder, KBL, many of you heard from David the other day when he spoke about Kusama Kingdom. And what started was when they basically did one auction of a queen and they raised $15,000 that went directly to charity. And they gave all that money to charity. And that got David thinking about, how do we do this in a sustainable way? How can we use NFTs for charity so that people can just constantly donate and do something? And so he reached out to the CEO of Just Giving. And then over the course of a little over a year, a lot of back and forth between the teams, we have officially partnered with Just Giving. And if you've never heard of Just Giving, it's the second largest online donation platform in the world that has over 450,000 charities. Right now in our first month, we're running a smaller version of this where we're just kind of piloting it. And so we're doing 200 of the most popular charities in the US and 200 of the most popular charities in the UK and EU. And so we're going to continue to roll out access to even more charities, hopefully in the next month or so. And so, again, one of the things that we really were focusing on is, our co-founders here at Lucky Friday really believe in corporate social responsibility. So that's what CSR is. And it's, just a way for corporations to prove that they are doing something good by being responsible, giving back some of the profits that they're earning and so on and so forth. And we believe that as the DAO nature continues to evolve, that there should be maybe a DAO social responsibility, that if we are going to signal to the rest of the world what it is to be part of a DAO, it can't simply be just about, passing treasury referenda and everything else that we do on OpenGov, but it should be about making a stance and showing the world that DAOs can do something for good to foster additional social good in the world. So because we believe in CSR, this is part of our mission. And as you can see here, the numbers are quite staggering. Just in the US alone in 2021, it was about $500 billion, $500 billion, which was roughly almost 5% of GDP went to charity. But when you think about NFTs during the bull run in 2021, there was actually very little of that given. In fact, it was 0.05% of all the NFT sales went to charity. So very, very little of that is being captured. And we feel by developing the Teddy DAO brand, we can do something that will permanently change the Web3 landscape forever. And we can demonstrate DAO social responsibility. And so we believe that, we're already, Polkadot ecosystem is leading in decentralized governance. It only makes sense that we should lead in decentralized giving as well. And so Teddy DAO has the potential to become the biggest gateway for all of Polkadot and Web3. This is something that, though it may be starting in Polkadot, we hope that it truly engages all of Web3, because it's something that really could capture the minds and the hearts of people all across this space, regardless of which ecosystem that they hail from. And the other big important piece why we wanted to partner with Just Giving was to actually allow us to educate Web2 users, because at this point, when we think about NFTs, most people only think of speculation. It's bad enough that in mainstream media and everything else, we have a lot of negative headlines, a lot of FUD, as we would like to call it here in our space, about NFTs and how it's all a scam and it's a Ponzi and so on and so forth. And this is a great initiative to push back against that kind of talk that we see constantly dominating the headlines. And by partnering with a Web2 company like Just Giving, if once they start pushing it with their traditional media as well as their charities, we hope to capture people who are already giving donations. People are already donating money all throughout the world. Myself, my wife and I, we donate monthly to a number of causes that we really believe in, but there's no way to do that through the blockchain space so far. And so now we have this opportunity with Teddy DAO through the Just Giving Network for people to choose their charity and support it. We also have tutorials that were made by our friends at the Kusumerian that show for advanced users who maybe are outside the ecosystem, but they want to learn how to, say, bridge in some ETH and swap it for Glimmer on Stella Swap. We also have the videos that are targeted for the people who are traditional Web2 donors that have never had any kind of experience using blockchain. In fact, I'm really excited because my mom's coming to visit. She is in her early 70s. And I really want to see if she can figure this out. She knows enough about the internet and how to click things and sign up for God knows too many things. But, you know, that's the true measure. Can you take someone who has no crypto experience and actually onboard them into an ecosystem, into the blockchain world? Because we know there's going to be a stickiness, and Talisman provides the on-ramp for fiat and everything else. And we have that already hooked up in the Teddy DAO website. So there's a lot of potential to capture those Web2 donors and bring them over to Web3 and help educate them a little bit about the technology. And education is going to be at the heart of what we do. So as I was saying previously, you know, what we wanted to do is invert sort of the current paradigm when it comes to just doing NFTs. For the most part, it's for everybody, it's all about number go up. It's just, can they flip something? Can they make a profit out of it? And we really wanted to take that away, because when people are speculating, of course, they're putting capital at risk. This way, this allows people to not have to risk their capital. They're doing something very dedicated with it. They're going to donate to a particular charity. And this is no different, but doing it through Teddy DAO and through a Web3 vehicle such as an NFT. So we borrowed the mint mechanic from Nouns DAO. In fact, we forked that smart contract. And then thanks to great work by Hash Warlock, and most people know Josh, he works for Fala. He was the one who helped kind of change the smart contract around and do all the things that we needed done to kind of customize it and make it for Teddy DAO. So one bear is minted every 24 hours. And then this will continue in perpetuity because the art was made by, shout out to Yumi. Many of you know Yumi from Kitty Paradise and other aspects that she's done arts in the ecosystem. And she was the one who created the teddies for us. But there was enough traits, the combinations yield actually 4 million potential combinations. And so it would take 11,000 years for these to actually mint out. And so a lot of times people hear that and they think, well, that's scary. That's like an unlimited number. But just to even get to a standard 10,000 collection, it would take over 33 years. So because there's only one a day, there's a built-in instant scarcity that we believe will hopefully, as donations start to climb and owning a bear becomes a badge of honor, that it's going to become like a flywheel that will eventually just drive in larger and larger donations. Custom bears can be created. And so Josh, again, in his handiwork for the smart contract, allowed us the ability to pause and insert a very particular looking bear. We haven't rolled out this function yet. It is already there in the smart contract, but our hope is that this month or some point soon will allow for custom bears. They'll probably have a higher threshold with regard to what the bid is going to be. However, it doesn't mean it's yours. Even though you may request a certain bear or a particular look, and though it has a minimum threshold, it's open for anyone. Anyone can come in, and this is the part of the gamification aspect, because we know that people, it's still NFTs at the end of the day. People are going to want a certain aesthetic. They're going to want a bear that's going to look a particular way. So we feel this is another way to kind of drive donations even higher by having the ability to have custom bears. And then the great thing too, as I alluded to previously, Lucky Friday gets nothing from this. We do not take a cut at all. 100% of your funds go to charity. Now, there's a little asterisk after that because 1.9% is actually for Just Giving, and they're the ones who administer their network and everything else. But basically, 98% of your funds will go directly to the charity that you choose that's in the Just Giving network. And so the way it works now, when you go to bid on a bear, you have the opportunity in the search field that comes up when you place a bid. You can type in a keyword, you can find a charity, you can look at the charity lists on the page itself. That's a dedicated page. There's a number of ways to kind of do some research. And again, because we believe in education, we also want to ensure that people are choosing and doing their due diligence, choosing a good charity. So we have in our Gitbook, for instance, websites like Charity Navigator, which will help you assess whether or not a charity is using its funds well, which we feel is also important. So as I was saying, because of this Just Giving partnership, donors can choose whichever charity they want. We have those top 400 charities to start. And so that allows us to kind of, give plenty of options for people who are there. And these range, my very first Teddy that I won for Teddy number 1, I did for UNICEF USA, which is a great charity, had an incredible score. Almost all the funds go directly to helping children. And that was something, I was a former teacher for nearly 20 years. And that was an important, item for me, that I wanted to make sure it was doing something to give back to kids. And so then you have these large organizations such as UNICEF, but you also have small local niche organizations too. So there's a wide range from people to select through, and there's a lot of options that you can choose. And again, it's trusted by over 450,000 charities worldwide. And theoretically, in the next month or two, we'll hopefully have access to the full suite of charities that they offer, although this is a great start with just the top 400 that we have currently. And so again, one of the things that we readily envisioned when we created Teddy DAO was to create a perpetual donation machine, something that was going to allow people to just continually bid. And so after the first 100 bears have been minted, today is Teddy number 33. She's quite cute. She has a bow that matches her little piece of watermelon. KBL apparently is threatening maybe creating a watermelon bear army in the Teddy DAO Discord. So might have some strong interest from other parties on this one today. But once we get to that 100 bears, we will import governance. And so once we start governance, because we know there's still NFTs, there's a high likelihood that if the donations start climbing, that some people who own multiple Teddies may want to actually sell theirs on a secondary market. So we already have a 5% royalty hard-coded into the smart contract. And as those funds flow back into Teddy DAO, into our multi-sig that's controlled by the DAO, each quarter, we will then take a vote, among a range of charities, and then we'll decide whether we send all of the funding to that particular charity, or maybe we split it up. And then ultimately too, because Teddy DAO is a federally registered here in the United States 501c3, we are a nonprofit. And so there will come a point at which people can donate directly to Teddy DAO. And then we have ambitions for the future where we can do really meaningful, lasting projects, such as building schools or digging wells and doing things in the developing world where it can have a significant impact. And so really what we see at this moment in time is this is a massive opportunity. We've done exceedingly well. We've had virtually no funding. We were bootstrapped and a shout out to the Moonbeam Foundation for giving us a grant to get us bootstrapped and get the project rolling. But up to this point in our first month, we were able to raise over $5,000 in donations with no marketing outside of just like tweets and stuff like that. But we feel this is such an important moment because of the bear market, or teddy bear market. At this point in time, we're really hoping that everyone in the ecosystem comes out to support this. So I'm talking about the biggest leaders, whether it's Gav or Rob or Bjorn, or leaders of parachain teams such as Derek Yu or Alexi, or Dakota already has one. So shout out to Dakota from Invarch, because he is one of our first parachain founders who actually owns a Teddy. And Bruno, he also owns a Teddy. So we do have a couple ecosystem leaders. And in fact, I think anybody who already owns a Teddy is a leader in his or her own right, because they are showing that they are capable of doing good and they're excited about the project. But we want to elevate the entire Polkadot ecosystem. And we feel that this project will allow us to kind of celebrate the brand and show that it is not simply just Ponzi-nomics, as a lot of the mainstream media often touts. And the other thing that we feel is important too is that the research demonstrates, when it comes to CSR, that over 3/4 of people really care when a company shows that they demonstrate giving back and doing social good. Why should it be any different for a DAO, whether that's Teddy DAO on a small scale or the Polkadot DAO on a larger scale? So this is why it's just a call to action to let's all come together and do good and be good together. And then again, to quote Gavin himself, and I'm sure you guys remember this was a few weeks ago, Gary Gensler recently said, our industry is full of hucksters, fraudsters, and scam artists. I was personally bothered by this. And Gavin Wood, though, when he was describing, he was the one who actually defined Web3 back in 2014. And he partly defined Web3 as identity-based, pseudonymous, low-level messaging system used for communicating between people on the network. What better way to communicate than with a cute teddy that you are part of something bigger than yourself and you're always seeking to give back? And so on that note, I'll close it out by saying, if you scan your QR code right now, if you're watching on your mobile phone, it'll take you right to the auction. Bid the Teddy. Thanks so much, Adrian, and everybody else who's watching.
That was really amazing. Thank you so much, Funky, for that amazing introduction to the ecosystem of TeddyDAO. Now we have a question that we make to all our speakers in the week event. It's an interesting question, let's say. It's where do you see Teddy, and in this case, Polkadot ecosystem in 4 years?
Personally, I'm an older person, so I love the question. Thank you for whoever asked it. I'm playing a long game, right? And I believe that Polkadot has incredible tech, despite the fact that, you know, a lot of people, it's not on their radars because they, for the most part, again, just like NFTs, only want to consistently see numbers go up. When it comes to Polkadot, it's I think almost inarguable that we have the best tech, the highest security in the relay chain. Everything else that we're building out with Polkadot 2.0 coming, that Gav recently talked about at Decoded. You know, I think we're just in this slow maturation phase. And I really believe that as Polkadot continues to evolve and grow, if our leaders in the ecosystem especially step up and parachain teams, and they display a bear maybe on their website to kind of say, I support TeddyDAO, I really believe that the solidarity between the TeddyDAO and the broader Polkadot ecosystem will have a spillover effect. And that will hopefully draw in people from Ethereum. We already have 2 Cosmos Teddy holders, you know, just people who are going to come from other ecosystems to understand what TeddyDAO is. And then maybe they'll take a deeper look at Polkadot, or maybe they come to look at Polkadot and they discover TeddyDAO and like think, oh, hey, this is really novel. This is interesting. You know, we've never seen anything like this. So I'm very, very hopeful for the future. I really think in 5 years, Polkadot is going to be a name that's going to be on, you know, a lot of people's lips, and they're going to be talking about it because of the tech that we've created. So it's just only a matter of time before, and I think that also speaks well of Parity and Web3 and their plan to just slowly roll things out. And it's not about hype; it's about the tech, and it's about what we're building.
That's amazing. So now we are running out of time. So if you want to say something to our listeners to conclude the interview, you can say it.
I just want to reiterate my gratitude once again to you, Adrian. I know you came into the kingdom. You asked, you know, you were seeking out people to come be part of this. So not only did we get to showcase Kusama Kingdom, but we also got to talk about TeddyDAO. So I'm glad and thankful for anybody who tuned in to watch this today and bid the Teddy. We would love to have you join us in our mission at TeddyDAO. Do good.
For sure. Thank you so much, and goodbye. Yeah, Funky.
Thanks, Adrian. Take care.
So now we're going to jump into our next interview of the day. We are going to introduce to Anna Heber, his business experience and developer from SORA. How are you, Anna? Welcome to the States. He's from Fearless Wallet. Hello, how are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Great, yeah.
Perfect.
So, I guess I'm the first person without video today, sorry. It's so late. It's almost 11 p.m., so let me be without camera today. Maybe next time you can do a bit earlier, so I can show myself to you.
It's complicated to have all the time zones in the weekend, so
definitely. Yeah.
So the stage today is yours, Anna. I'm going to disappear, and you can start presenting as Fearless Wallet.
Sure, thank you, Adrian. So hello, guys. Hello from Asia. Actually, I'm in Japan, so that's why maybe I will be a bit slow because it's evening. But I will try to cover all aspects we have with Fearless Wallet and explain you main feature and share some ideas and plans for what we're going to do in the coming 6 months and beyond, maybe. So let's explore our amazing open source mobile wallets and browser extension. And as you know, like it's a mission to improve how users experience crypto. We're making it easier, faster, safer to use, so everyone can use it. And we will explain even more later. So just to briefly highlight what it's all about, like about Fearless Wallet, just picture a wallet that not only keeps your assets safe, but also does it with style, grace, and speed that make you, like even maybe Flash be envious. I hope Marvel lovers here. And guess what? So Fearless Wallet is one of the artists behind that canvas, painting a seamless experience for all of us. So sit back, relax, get ready to be fearlessly amazed. And don't forget to hold your hats because with Fearless Wallet, our adventure just starts. And let me move you on the text side. I hope I don't show my presentation because I need to switch my browsers from one to one. So yes. So as you know, Fearless Wallet is an impressive open source mobile wallet in browser extension, as I mentioned, that prioritize providing its users with superior experience in terms of UX UI, of course, and high performance, while ensuring top security. That's really important nowadays. And primary focus lies in supporting the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem, including relay chains, parachains, along with more than 70 other chains based on substrate technology. And the wallet high performance is a critical aspect, given the need to support a large number of networks. The development team has invested really significant efforts to achieve light and fast code launch times, just a matter of seconds. Right now, we're really proud of this, which is quite, I think, impressive. Before it was longer, but now we are reducing this time, and we are really happy for this. And also, I would like to share some remarkable facts, as you see now, like in slides, about Fearless. So let me repeat one more time. So plus 70 networks on Polkadot and Kusama blockchains, along with popularity, as demonstrated by over than 130,000 monthly active users, according to the freshest data from Google Play and Apple Store. And additionally, we used to receive support before from Kusama Treasury, as you remember, and this indicating their value to the ecosystem. We really appreciate that. But times goes, and we're exploring more opportunities. And now let me move into features a little bit. Thanks, Adrian. So Fearless Wallet offers a range of exceptional features, as you know, including ultra high performance, user-friendly network, asset management, as well as scam warning feature to enhance security. The universal and scalable transfer flow powered by address book streamlines with user experience to seamless transactions across network. For DeFi enthusiasts, I think Fearless Wallet offers a broad selection of staking options, DEX swaps, and Dotsama crowd loans, and XCM cross-chain transfer further extending the wallet's capabilities. And let me share with you maybe some upcoming features next. What we will do. Yeah, just briefly deck, and after I think we can have some dialogue about our future and what we plan to do and what we did. So our upcoming features. I'm sure you guys would like to hear about our plans. So to ensure user convenience, we will provide Google authorization and backup options, allowing users to store their secret data using their Google accounts for future use. Security is not a joke in crypto. I think you know that. And Fearless Wallet takes it really serious. And I think that should be on the first place when somebody develops some wallet within crypto ecosystem. So with this feature, you will have your secret data tucked away, safe and sound, let's say that. And like maybe we can compare it like to like hidden treasury, maybe that only you can access. And it sounds really great, I think, and excited for everyone. And maybe UEM network will also be supported soon, enhancing interoperability and expanding the wallet's reach. That's really important. I think EVM network, it's also one of the most popular network as well. So I will support them in the coming future. And moreover, integration with Wallet Connect will facilitate seamless connection with various decentralized applications as well. And I think a really interesting part here written is NFT, because when we are talking about NFT with somebody, a lot of questions pop up. So yes, we are thinking about that. So ERC 721, as you know, in ERC 1155, I think that's the most popular. Sorry for crazy sound maybe outside, maybe you can hear that. So NFT, nowadays really also important to have NFT support. And as I mentioned, so we're also expanding like new opportunities in another side of the world. And here it's really crazy popular, NFT GameFi and all what's going on. So NFT for us will be one of the milestone to achieve this year. And I think that's all for coming feature. I will not dive too much into our plans. And yes, here will be some slides. If you want to collaborate with us, you can drop always me a line or drop us some question in chat. to see what we can do maybe together. Yeah, here you can have collaboration within these sectors. So feel free to contact us again. Let me say that. And I guess we had some questions. So Adrian, maybe you go first with some questions so we can have
Yeah,
a
for
dialogue.
sure. Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Anna, for your introduction to Fearless Wallet and to the upcoming features on Fearless Wallet. It was amazing to hear you. So let's start with the first question I have here. It's about the events that you have been supporting Fearless Wallet and SORA. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Can you repeat one again? Just paused.
The events that you have been representing
Okay.
Fearless and SORA.
Yeah, no, here. Yeah, sure. Yeah, actually had really productive June and July, and maybe didn't see me in chats really often because we were firstly IVS event in Kyoto. That was really great events. More than I think 14,000 people were there, and across all Asia, a lot of projects came, and we had really a lot of talks and side events, and talked with a lot of people, and especially that was, as I mentioned, like NFT GameFi and other projects with whom we had some conversation even in March on Astar events. Astar hosted a great event in March. So that was really good opportunity for us, and we expanded our network, and with a lot of people we get more meetings in upcoming, like in past 13 days, I guess. And we plan to do more collaboration, definitely. And we have great interest here for us. And as you know, we also support Japanese language in Fearless. And this really great milestone for everyone who would like to use Fearless Wallet in the native language, and more languages coming. So yeah, and after of us, one more great event was actually this week. That was WebEx Tokyo. Maybe you heard about that. That was really a nice event with a lot of speech and pitches from different networks and from different partners. That was VCs, Astar again, like Polkadot, and yeah, had to talk with some guys from Polkadot here. This is really exciting, and more people from South Korea, Hong Kong also came this week, and we had really productive talks about what we're gonna do together next. I cannot tell you all about our plans, but it's a really great opportunity for us, and I think in upcoming months you will see what we did, and I guess ecosystem updates also will speak for us from our sides of business development, what we are doing. We decided to tell more our community what we are doing and what the progress is, and you can see there some potential partners from our side. So that's really exciting. A bit tired, of course. It's usually 24/7 if you have events and a lot of side events. It was really nice side event with Aptos, with Astar again. They had really super nice events during WebEx, and we listened to Sota Watanabe. Yes, that was really great, really perfect.
Yeah, so
and more events coming.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. And now, as we have some time after the AJUNA presentation, can you tell about how your community feels the beer market, the famous beer market?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we're answering every day on this question. How do you feel? I mean, of course, it's not the easiest for community to survive during bear market and stay positive, which is, I think, the most important in crypto. Stay positive and not to, let's say, lose your temper, and try to find friends and talk about something else, not only tracking prices and what's going on around. And our community trying to stay positive. I understand sometimes it takes longer to give you something exciting, but for us it's not also not really easy to do. But community supports us, and we really feel this support, and really thankful for that. And we hope that in the coming future we'll give more exciting things for our community, and more campaigns from marketing sides. And I guess soon you will be able to take part in some exciting activities and win some swag. So yeah, pretty positive, I think. Of course, it's not the easiest time for everyone. But yeah, I think anyway, after rain will come rainbow, and everything will be good. So
Yeah.
staying positive and staying fearless.
Let's say fearless, yeah. So, and now the question that we make to conclude all the interviews and to all our speakers, it's where do you see Polkadot, and in this case, Fearless Wallet in 4 or 5 years approximately?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting question. So actually, like looking into the future, it's exciting to see how Polkadot will continue to grow, and with platforms supporting and enhancing its ecosystem. I think that's really important, and potential for cross-chain maybe interaction and advancements in DeFi and NFT spaces makes it an exciting journey ahead. For Fearless Wallet, for sure, we will grow, and we are doing our best now. Our developers also doing our best to give more features and more support for networks, and bringing more users like from other networks to us and from us to other networks. And we're working with partners a lot and preparing some great stuff. So it will not come, of course, tomorrow, but we're doing our best to shorten this time. And I think in the coming future will be more activities here from Asian side, because I'm here and trying to do my best to bring more news from our side to you guys. And yeah, a lot of stuff to do, and we're excited.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. Yeah, so thank you, Anna, for being with us today and to share Fearless
thank you,
Wallet
Adrian.
and coming features. And if you want to say something to conclude this interview, you can for sure. And then we'll jump into our next interview with AJUNA.
Yeah, thank you, Adrian, for this opportunity to talk to you today and to you guys. I hope I gave you some highlights what we are doing, who we are again, and what we are doing. And yeah, just invited everyone who is here in AJ or would like to meet up or talk or bring your friends into community. You're welcome. Now we can speak in your language here, so feel free to contact us. We're pretty friendly and fearless. So thank you, Adrian, again.
Thank you to you, Anna. So thank you so much, Anna. We are going to jump into our next interview. So goodbye.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks, everyone.
So now we are going to jump into our next interview of the day. We will have Nicolas from AJUNA. Welcome to the States. How are you?
Hi, thank you for having me. Very good to get the opportunity to talk. For us, it's quite an exciting time. Crunch time, I would say. Actually,
Yeah.
it's right at the end of crunch time as we're launching the second season of Awesome AJUNA Avatars tomorrow. So yeah, pretty excited.
Yeah, we know.
It's always fun to have a product out.
Yeah, I see some comments, some bullish comments on the YouTube platform. So if you want, Nicolas, you can present your screen and share us about your project and what you are working. There we have it. So perfect. So thank you so much, Nicolas and AJUNA team, for being with us today. And I'm going to disappear, and the stage is totally yours.
Thank you. You can see my screen properly, I can assume?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, great. So I thought today I'm going to just spend some time to talk to you about sort of the difference between how we sort of see game assets and NFTs, and really just give you a first glimpse of the work that we're doing to introduce Wildcard, which is our, I would say, third big product that we're going to be showcasing sometime in September, in October, where the idea is that we've created an off-chain where you'll be able to move your NFTs in and out of not only AJUNA network, but the Polkadot ecosystem into Ethereum, as well as the Solana ecosystem later on, as well as Polygon. So maybe just to give a small background about myself, I studied economics and econometrics. I later on went into the area of health management, and I was lucky enough to be able to apply my studies and work in Deutsche Bank and later on GlaxoSmithKline. So I think during my corporate career, I got to see quite of the good and the bad of both sort of those industries I was working on, but also the work environment. My entrepreneurial journey started about a decade ago when I moved to Switzerland here with my family, and I deep dived into the blockchain and gaming space about 6.5 years ago. Back then, trying to create again another, let's say, solo chain. What we were trying to solve is how can we make, let's say, change to be more accessible and more performant for the gaming space. And just a few years ago, I joined up with Cedric and Andre, and we have started building out AJUNA Network, which is a decentralized gaming platform built on the Polkadot ecosystem. I have 2 kids. I still love gaming, and a big Swiss Pyrenees dog. So maybe just to go a bit into why are we in the area of gaming and why specifically we think that gaming on Polkadot has quite a bright future. I mean, I think it's quite well known to this point that gaming is the biggest entertainment vertical, bigger than the movie industry, bigger than the music industry, and all projections are for it to grow. Yes, you hear that this sort of information thrown around all the time, that there's 3 billion gamers. I mean, at the end of the day, 1 in 2 of us play some form of video game, whether that's in our mobile phone or on our PC, as well as console. But most interesting, I think, for us, what's great about games is that historically they have been very good in abstracting the technology from the end user. When you play a game on your mobile phone, you don't ask and you don't care whether this is built using Xcode running on Amazon Web Services or any other technology that's being used to render those images and those experiences on your screen. So with all of those things in mind, we created the AJUNA network based to be able to run on the trust and security provided by Polkadot, where with our solutions around sort of layer 2 and layer 1 being with a single purpose to serve the needs of the gaming industry. All the solutions and all the technology choices that we meant are there in order to make sure that we can have a blockchain that can reduce latencies, a blockchain that can preserve privacy, as I said, again, for the needs of the ecosystem. So last year for us was essentially starting to set up that infrastructure from its baseline and moving all the way up, as we will continue to do so and continue to invest in our technology. But also a part of what we're doing this year is this transition of a team into the application layer, which is quite exciting as we get to work with products. So we decided that we wanted to create experiences which are built on-chain, and with our community to try to turn them into products, stick to what we do best, which is try to create addictive and fun game loops in order to be able to create these engaging experiences. And in particular, when we're thinking about NFTs in relation to gaming, we always sort of had this affinity for the way that we play small crafting games or having sort of the experiences with Panini stickers, and not what we currently saw as NFT drops over the past year. Over the past year, what you've seen as NFT drops, even in the gaming space, is somebody creates a set of assets, let's say. People get whitelisted, they have to join in at a particular date and buy that NFT, which promises XYZ utility or experiences. So your first interaction with those NFTs was a financial one. So with our first product, we wanted to make sure that we give the opportunity as a gamer to create his own handcrafted on-chain avatar through a mini game, which was the first season of the awesome AJUNA avatars. And as I said, sort of one of the reasons why we wanted to rethink or reverse engineer the way that NFT drops work, we wanted to make sure that NFTs, which at least in the gaming space for now mean game assets, right, or game items, we wanted to make sure that we have created that value through the normal loop that gamers are used to. So a gamer gets value or thinks an asset or an avatar is worth something to him because of the experience or the time that he has spent using that item or playing with that character. So the awesome AJUNA avatars in each season is supposed to be a small community onboarding game that different teams will be able to launch their projects and use the awesome AJUNA avatars as that first introduction to their world and their game. As I mentioned before, we wanted to make sure that the value that is being created initially with these game assets comes through engagement and not necessarily through a financial sort of price to it. The financial price to it comes sort of later on. And the idea being, instead of you having to sort of being dropped or randomly given an NFT, that you get the opportunity to create your own one. And as I said, the way that we started thinking about how we could create the Awesome AJUNA avatars and how we could create an engaging way to sort of create your own NFT, your own on-chain game, and was inspiration for from small crafting games, from trading games that we have played sort of in real time, and also quite a lot of thinking of the time that we spent in front of those character selection screens and all of those big games that we embark on, making sure that we have created the character that we want to spend that journey for the next number of hours working on. Now, when we have to talk about on-chain, we know that the technology has limitations, and one of them, and probably the biggest one still, is that in order to be able to access and interact on-chain, you will need a wallet, need a balance. And despite the fact that that might not be the cup of tea from every gamer, we were quite careful to make sure that we are creating here an experience where we understand that our target audience are primarily somebody who is a token holder, who is interested in this technology and is looking to see what other experiences he can have with his token besides, let's say, going on an exchange or sort of going on a DeFi product. So primarily we understood that sort of audience, somebody who's comfortable with using a wallet, somebody who's comfortable of using his token for different things. And one of the great things of working with in the Polkadot ecosystem is that we don't have to create the wallets ourselves. Like Fearless before that sort of was here showing their solution, and Fearless is going to be available for season 2 of the Awesome AJUNA avatars. Other wallets of the ecosystem, such as Subwallet, such as Talisman, even the native Polkadot.js were there and could be used to play the game. And the way that we managed to sort of gather that community and interact with it was through our Discord service. We applied some pretty basic or pretty easy, let's say, game mechanics, right? Sort of, we all have become quite used to this free-to-play model that sort of came along with a mobile phone. We use the tokens in terms of free mints in order to be able to onboard people onto the game initially freely, see if they are enjoying it, and then as any free-to-play game, you have the ability to continue on. Another limitation, obviously, that we were quite interested to tackle was what happens with, let's say, the speed of blockchains. So specifically when we built the Awesome AJUNA avatars running on Kusama network, Kusama network currently has a block production time of about 12 seconds. So each interaction that I was be making, I would have to wait until the next one for 12 seconds. Although clearly this can be a limitation for a number of different games right now. For the type of game that we were trying to create, we took advantage of this technology limitation. We personified it. So Kusama here, as you can see, is part of that clock, let's say, with that avatar there. And what we did is that we created 12 different constellations, matched those constellations with different forces from our avatars. So in other way, we created a small riddle, a small puzzle, which would keep you, the user, occupied during those sort of 12 seconds that they have to wait between one action and the other thing. So maybe that sort of ties back a bit to what I said, that games have the ability to abstract limitations of the technology or the technology itself pretty well. So as I said, instead of you thinking that you're waiting for 12 seconds, there were certain things or certain different aspects, riddles, or strategies that you had to go through between one action to the next in order to be able to create the perfect forge and reach the end goal of the game, which was to create a legendary Awesome AJUNA avatar. Now, each Awesome AJUNA avatar at this point has two things that I'd like sort of to draw your attention to. Yes, it's an on-chain, it's on-chain and you own it. But no, it is not an NFT. It's not tokenized at this point, right? Because it's still a game asset, which is pretty fungible as it changes all the time within the game. Now, the reason why this is not an NFT at this stage was exactly what we said before, that we wanted to treat game assets like game assets. And ownership, as I said, comes from the on-chain part. And where the NFT part comes is the moment that you have decided as a user that I want to take this game asset out of my current experience and into something else. So every season of Awesome AJUNA avatars, the game assets, the avatars that are going to be created will have a dual path. They will be able to explore on-chain missions and journeys, which we'll be able to share more also in the coming months, and also then access to exclusive products and games. Season 1 will lead you to Battle Mog. Season 3, for example, which is being run by the Everloot team, will lead to their own exclusive game. Now, these on-chain missions exactly sort of follow on from this decision of us to continue exploring the different primitives, the different aspects of blockchain technology and sort of Web3 elements that we can do, but in a gamified way. So in a way for us to introduce aspects of governance, of voting, of staking, we do it through a game. We think it's much more digestible to be able to say, hey, take your awesome AJUNA avatar, go do an exam to get your pilot license, then you have to obtain a spaceship, and then with that spaceship you have to go, let's say, for a 10-day mission to this planet to extract a specific plant. Now, in the meantime, what's sort of happening is that we're introducing these Web3 primitives such as staking, right? When you go into a planet, that's what we're going to be asking you to do, stake your NFT at that point, and come then in 10 days, hit the claim function in order to get your reward. But it's a way that we can introduce these elements towards gamers and try and see how all of these can become part of those building blocks of the future of gaming itself. And that's where sort of the introduction of Wildcard comes from us, which was that, again, for every game asset, every move from one environment to the other has to have a meaning and has to have a purpose. So to move out of the awesome AJUNA avatars and to become an NFT, as I mentioned before, I have now the mission. So there's a reason why I should tokenize, let's say, my game asset. And what would be the reason then to move even outside of that environment? So that's where we can have sort of issues of that, where users are looking to take their NFT into a market, right? Because they wish to trade it, they wish to sell it. There may be reasons that they can take it into other ecosystems because there's sort of a game running there that their awesome AJUNA avatar gives us access to. And so that's what we're going to be doing here with Wildcard. We're going to be making sure that for users that wish to take these NFTs, which are built sort of on substrate, from substrate-based chains, not only AJUNA network, in and out of the ecosystem, that's what we're going to be doing with Wildcard, which we're going to be introducing later on in the year. So yeah, I think that's what I wanted to share from just tomorrow, and for the general public, you'll be able to join from next week. So you can come join us in our Discord.
That was a really amazing explanation, Nicholas. I love the on-chain missions, the coming future. So now we have two questions here. First of all, it's about battle mocks. If you can tell us a little more about this game that will be coming.
So battle mocks actually, as an initial concept, pre-existed, let's say, of AJUNA network. That was the first game initially called World of Mogwais, where Cedric started tinkering with the idea of trying to use a blockchain as a backend, and more specifically trying to use a blockchain in order to encode logic or even a game engine sort of on top of it. And that initial experiment was back then called World of Mogwais, which is currently sort of what we call Battle Mocks. Season 1 of the awesome AJUNA avatars introduced the characters, which are the Mogwais of Season 1, and Season 2 we're introducing, in terms of lore and characters, the pets. Now, the game itself is based on sort of our love for turn-based games like Hearthstone. It has sort of two main aspects to it. There's the breeding aspect to it, which is more sort of akin to traditional, I would say, Web3 type of games. And then there's the PvP sort of side to it, where it's a turn-based game. And so that's sort of where the more action part comes into it. The first snapshot, or sort of the first beta of the game, which we're going to be releasing, is going to come in December. It's going to be focused on the breeding part. And for that first snapshot will be available for the holders of Season 1, awesome AJUNA avatars, and Season 2. So yeah, that's
great.
A bit about battle mocks.
That's great. Just a little introduction for the event. There's a fake account of Coin Reference that is selling the week event link. So please stay safe. We are not giveaway nothing. It's a scam link to our listeners. So just this interruption. And Nicholas, the last question for the interview, it's about a question that we make to all our speakers. It's where do you see Polkadot and AJUNA in 4 years approximately?
So I think Polkadot right now is, I would say, in its second or third stage of its life cycle. There was a lot of criticism, I think, up until last year, that there's this huge movement of developers, but where are all of the users? And a lot of people are sort of forgetting the life cycle of where Polkadot was. And it is true that up until last year, I would say the same thing was true for us as a team. The focus was on the infrastructure, making sure that we can get everything up and running the way that is intended, that new teams obtaining parachains can understand and really work on their infrastructure, which is always an ongoing thing. And now that we're slowly seeing this transition to the product layer, or to the application sort of layer, is where it becomes more interesting for us as an ecosystem to try to attract the community, right? Because a community in this space, in general, will get attracted either by a price on a ticker, right, sort of on the exchange, or the second best thing, which should be the first, but we're not sort of there. I think it is products, right? The more products that you can put in their hands, that they can test out this technology, the more likely it is that Polkadot sort of will grow as an ecosystem. And the same sort of holds true for ITINERARY. So I expect the next 4 or 5 years where it's where we prove as an ecosystem that the technology is sound enough to carry these applications that we're all looking to build on top. And the focus on the verticals that we see sort of Polkadot going in. I do see that it is sort of a top 3 coin in the next 5 years. That's the target of Polkadot. That's the target, obviously, for everybody building inside it.
That's perfect. So thank you, Nicholas, for being with us today. Anything you want to say to conclude the interview?
No, thank you for having us and for giving us the opportunity to give this sort of short talk. And yeah, for anybody that's interested to learn more about us, there's no better way than to just come join our game, which starts from tomorrow. The Awesome AJUNA Avatar Season 2 is open to anyone. And again, thank you for having us.
Let's play. So thank you so much, Nicholas. We're going to jump into SORA cards. So goodbye. So now we are going to jump into a really interesting space to the SORA ecosystem. Welcome to the States, Benno. How are you?
Hey, Adrian. I'm good. Thank you. Is all good?
Yeah, it's all perfect. Welcome to the States, Benno. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Very exciting week. So this is the last talk or public talk about SORA card before we actually go launch the phase 1, which means the signups. And we have an extra surprise that we will announce together with the signups as well for everyone who has been patient. So
you can start sharing your screen, and our team will display it on the event. So yeah, that sounds really bullish, Benno. I think I know that a lot of community and SORA and in Polkadot are excited for that SORA card. So that's great to have you here talking about it. Perfect. Yeah. There we go. So thank you, Benno, for being with us. The stage is totally yours.
Thank you. Thank you for having us, Adrian, and for organizing this. This is very valuable and means a lot to us. So today I'll talk a bit about SORA cards. For people who are following us for a while, you will hear not much new. So the goal of SORA cards and the whole idea was to bridge traditional finance and substrate DeFi at the start. Basically to have a better experience than just on-ramp, off-ramp, but really have a bank account in your DeFi applications available. And so I'll walk you through a few of the challenges that we identified with other crypto cards or with your personal finances. I'll introduce you to some of the key features and values that we bring forth with SORA card. And I would say the biggest value of SORA card itself is not the IBAN or the bank account or the MasterCard even, but it's actually the integrations and where you can have access to all your finances. So maybe a quick intro to SORA for those who are new to it. So SORA is a new economic system with on-chain governance that enables economic growth. And it's also a layer 1 substrate network, if we look at infrastructure in the Polkadot ecosystem, that enables DeFi and other applications that are built for financial inclusion and to strengthen the freedom of the individual. And so talking about freedom of the individual, so people who value their freedom, we are bringing a new tool or a new application that will strengthen you, which is called SORA card, the name for the MasterCard debit card and the IBAN that integrates into the applications. So when we were working on the design and discussing with partners of what it should look like or what we would like, in which direction we would like to go, we had a look at what is currently available on the market, thinking about a Binance card, Crypto.com card, and how do we want to do it better or different and offer a solution in line with the values of our community. And so we noticed that a lot of our people in our community, including myself, we like ownership over our assets and the freedom to transact with others without a centralized authority deciding otherwise. So other crypto cards, you may have experienced it yourself. They are connected to an account or a crypto account on a centralized custodial exchange. They manage the keys. They can single-sidedly decide on freezing accounts or temporarily halt withdrawals for certain tokens, etc. That's quite annoying, painful, and frustrating when it occurs to you. When it comes to privacy and data protection, other crypto card providers or centralized exchanges, they collect and keep your personal data, also your financial information, and they don't just share this with the absolute minimum parties that need to know about this, but also with third parties, and there are often occurring data hacks or other hacks that are jeopardizing your personal security. And also with those crypto card solutions, let's say you don't really feel you're part of a community. It's a tool, and there is the centralized exchange solutions have low transparency as well on their exchange rates. There's a lot of hidden ways for them to make money, basically, on you as a customer. And so when it comes to challenges with your daily finance, the other crypto cards, they almost never offer an IBAN, which is a bank account in Europe. They just allow you to sell and spend the crypto. So it's a one-way traffic of your transactions. And using the crypto in the regular economy is still quite challenging and rarely easy. On top of that, the user limits are quite low for both withdrawal as for spending. And as mentioned before, there are hidden fees, bad exchange rates that you don't always see immediately, that make actually using those cards more costly than they advertise it or than you as a user want it to be. So the solution that we are very proud of working on is SORA card and all its integrations. So what is SORA card exactly? It's a neo-banking style banking suite with an IBAN, MasterCard debit card, and the strength, as mentioned, is integrating into decentralized and self-custodial crypto solutions. So you have the regulated banking suite with the decentralized self-custodial self-ownership crypto side. And with an IBAN come a lot of benefits that you don't have with the other crypto cards. For example, you can do SEPA transactions, which is a normal bank-to-bank account transaction, SWIFT transactions. You can have a Forex exchange. You can do cash withdrawals with higher limits than what is allowed or what is possible with the other crypto cards. And a few other traditional or standard banking transactions are enabled for you. And a nice benefit for user friendliness is that we bring the bank account to your DeFi application. So you can stake, pool, trade, earn, buy, sell your crypto, and in the same application have your traditional finance or your fiat finance affairs. Later on, one of the USPs of SORA is the on-chain governance. Later on, you also will have that in the same application. So very excited to have all of that to strengthen the freedom of the individual in one application. So on the crypto side, as mentioned, it's self-custodial. You have the ownership over your assets, and there is no centralized authority that can control your assets or your transactions. The interoperability with Ethereum currently is already live, soon with all parachains. And as you know, we have the Kusama parachain to SORA mainnet bridge being worked on, and a multi-EVM bridge is on testnet. In the future, Bitcoin will or should be available as well. And we really like to emphasize our community-first approach. A lot of community members have been involved in this survey that we have launched about a year ago, and will also in the future have input in new features, can make proposals. There will be a much higher transparency on fees and exchange rates than with other crypto cards. And the community, the SORA community, also benefits from a revenue share. So part of the revenue will be used to buy back ecosystem tokens, and that will be reinvested in the ecosystem. And yeah, as mentioned before, there are higher card limits for all functions, spending, withdrawal, etc. There will also be higher exchange limits on the exchange between crypto and fiat, because as mentioned, it's not just a card to spend, it's also a bank account to buy crypto in a matter of seconds, first through PolkaSwap, later on through wallet integrations, as well on other decentralized exchanges. The first product will be just consumer accounts, but we're working hard on bringing as well business accounts to our users. The real value, I think, is the application integrations, right? So SORA card will launch by integrating PolkaSwap, Fearless Wallet in a couple of weeks, SORA Wallet, and this way you can have all your personal finances in one place. And it's really the idea of bringing the bank account to the user, bringing the application to the user, instead of what you now experience with your crypto card or with your commercial bank application. You always need to go to their application, right? So this is not very practical, and we really want to bring SORA card, the bank application, to your favorite DeFi. As mentioned, the MVP is on SORA network, but we're really keen on a multi-chain and multi-token future to give you the optimal freedom of using the network and tokens that you like. So let's look a little bit deeper to these integrations. They are probably familiar to you also. I will not go into detail, just a rather high-level introduction to PolkaSwap, ADAR for business accounts, and SORA and Fearless Wallet. And let's see what the future brings. So we are happily negotiating and discussing with other applications on wallets to see what we can do with them. So PolkaSwap is the DEX for the interoperable future, built for the Polkadot ecosystem, but also beyond. So really for all ecosystems. The first substrate to Ethereum bridge was live on the SORA network, bringing ERC20 assets to PolkaSwap, and a multi-EVM bridge and a substrate to substrate bridge are currently being worked on. The good thing about PolkaSwap is that you will have all your assets soon in one place. So with the SORA card integration, also your fiat assets. And it powers ADAR, about which we will talk now next. And it integrates SORA wallet and Fearless Wallet. So you will have in these wallets not just assets available, but you will also be able to trade, swap, etc. with them. So what is ADAR? ADAR is an advanced digital asset router, and it's a simplified recurring multi-currency payments system for your Web3 business. Self-custodial and decentralized, so very ease of use. You just connect your account or your wallet, and your accounting and automated payments can happen through simple file upload. Again, here the MVP is on SORA network, and they are also working on a multi-chain future to really offer an answer to the needs of businesses. And of course, this will be mainly interesting for our upcoming SORA card business accounts, because this is a B2B tool, and the engine behind it, or the assets routing, is from PokerSwap. So very nice to see all these things, all these applications coming together and really offering value to both consumers and businesses. Please have a look at adar.com. It's the MVP is already live for you to try out. Fearless Wallet, we heard an update from them just now. So it's a DeFi wallet for the future, for the Polkadot ecosystem, and also beyond. So thanks to the browser extension, this allows you to use SORA card actually within your favorite substrate applications. So imagine you are on another DeFi application. You want to buy the utility token of that application. You just open the browser extension while you are in that application, and you can purchase through SORA card, then PokerSwap in a Fearless Wallet browser extension, the utility token of that application without ever leaving it. So for builders, this can be very interesting to have a higher retention on the application, and of course this increases the user experience by far. And yeah, so more integrations are coming, but let's take it step by step. Of course, we are now working very hard on offering you the signups and bringing you in the next step the card in your mailbox and the application ready to use. But the future is looking multi-chain, multi-token, and multi-wallet. So yeah, if there's any builders here listening and they think like, hey, part of that or some things interest me, how can we make this work for us? How can we join with our project or token to SORA cards? I think I would suggest the two biggest or the two main steps that you can take is talk to us about PokerSwap as a service, which is our liquidity program that supports you and your community for listing on PokerSwap. And next is integrating Fearless Wallet browser extension to make it available for your users in your application. So the PokerSwap as a service liquidity program is a liquidity and listing program, basically, where teams provide single-sidedly liquidity on PokerSwap and they earn revenue for their treasury. This streamlines your experience as a treasury owner, but also the one of your users on ADAR, on PokerSwap, on Fearless Wallet, and with SORA Card Business, and in the future with many other applications. And so the idea is that the SORA community, after approval by on-chain governance, matches your liquidity, so you don't need to provide ETH or USDT. Which is very, let's say, treasury friendly for you. And it offers your community a DEX with very low fees, high speed, and built for the interoperable future. No more market maker fees that you need to pay, although we can offer you partnerships with a market maker that is outside of our scope, but we can introduce you. We offer free listing and free co-marketing. And so, yeah, just a reminder, PokerSwap is a decentralized and self-custodial app down the line of our values that we are promoting. And as mentioned, PokerSwap integrates with Fearless Wallet, both on mobile and the browser extension, so your users do not have to leave your application. Currently, we can do our liquidity program and offer it for ERC20 tokens via the Hashi bridge. And in the future, the idea is, of course, to onboard it for all growing community tokens, EVM chain tokens, substrate, and potentially BTC as well. Fearless Wallet introduced and talked about themselves before, so just a reminder that to have optimal use of everything that we discussed, we can highly recommend to talk to the Fearless Wallet team to see what you can do, integrate their browser extension, and maybe more. So some of the often recurring questions that we receive is: do we need to do a KYC if it's a DeFi application? You need to do a KYC for SORA card, yes, because it's a regulated banking account. For PolkaSwap, you don't need to do a KYC, so you can keep using all the DeFi applications without any KYC. It's only if you want to apply for SORA card that you will have to go through the KYC process. The IBAN or the bank account will be a Lithuanian account to start with in Europe, and it will be available globally. The currencies will be a Euro card to start, and we are looking at multi-currency wallet and accounts very soon. And when, yes, I'm not going to put an exact date or moment to it, but this is the last talk before the launch of signups. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah, thank you very much, Adrian.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Benno, for being with us today and for the presentation of the SORA card. It was really bullish to listen more carefully about this card. And now I have here two questions. One very interesting, that is and when we will be able to have our Polkadot and Kusama tokens and Glimmer also in the SORA card.
That's a good question. I think it will mainly depend on the substrate to substrate bridge, right? So they are already available in Fearless Wallet. SORA card will be available in Fearless Wallet too. So it will depend on when they will be available on PolkaSwap. I think it's a matter of weeks, but I don't want to put any time pressure there on the team. It's from what I understand, it's one of the priorities, or maybe the priority of the contributors, to really put a Polka in PolkaSwap and to have those tokens listed with liquidity on PolkaSwap.
That's perfect. And now the question that we make to all our speakers here is, where do you see SORA ecosystem, PolkaSwap, SORA card, and the whole Polkadot ecosystem in 4 years approximately?
Yeah. Well, that's a very long time frame, right? I heard you ask this question before.
Yeah, it's to all the projects.
Yeah, I was thinking, where was I 4 or 5 years ago? It was 2018, 2019, right? So we didn't even experience COVID. I was still living in another country, So it's very difficult, I think, especially in an industry like blockchain and crypto, to make these kind of estimations. But let's say high level, I think that Polkadot is very well on their way to become the infrastructure for one of the main infrastructures used for blockchain build applications or Web3 applications in the future. And I think and I hope that that we mainly shift towards a lot more user-friendly applications where even the users do not realize that they're using a blockchain built application. So to go to mass adoption, I think that will be crucial. And where do I see SORA card? It would be really nice to see SORA card evolve, and that's what is being thought about, but it will take time to see it as the tool to access all your payments, all your finances, for both your business and personal. A lot will depend. The evolution will depend a lot on where is the regulation going. What can we do with crypto payments directly, etc. But so we work with some very smart experts in that field. So I think we should be able to stay ahead of regulation and find our way to really grow to mass adoption and offer something that people want to use, right? So I switched personally from using commercial bank card to using the application more, to switching to Revolut, and now switching to SORA card very soon. So I think if we can be part of that evolution for many people, then we will have made very great progress.
That's amazing. So I like your t-shirt of Polkadot Decoded, by the way. It's great. So thank you so much, Benno, for being with us today in this the week event. And how you see in the third edition of the week event and with the SORA card in your hands. So thank you so much. We are running out of time, so we are going to jump into our next interview. If you want to conclude the interview with anyone you want to say to our listeners.
It's more a thank you towards you. I mean, the energy that you put into promoting the Polkadot ecosystem every week is incredible. So thank you for that, and keep doing what you do.
Thank you so much, Vino. So, and goodbye.
Bye.
So now we're going to jump into a really amazing NFT ecosystem in Astar network. Welcome to the States, Rams. The second time we have you here. So welcome to the States. How are you? We can see you in the camera. Maybe you have some problem there. So
can you hear me?
yeah,
Nice.
we can hear you, but the camera is black. So
Okay.
maybe you have to change it. Don't worry. Perfect. Welcome to this. We have you here, and maybe tomorrow in the Spanish we will have you also. So that's cool.
Yes, igual. Okay. I think everyone can see me now. Perfect. Perfect. Okay.
Welcome. So
can you hear Adrian? Yes. Let me share my screen with everybody.
For sure. You can start sharing there.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to have.
I'll share a couple of screens for today. First, I'll start with our website.
Perfect. We will be sharing the screens. Perfect. Okay. There we go. So thank you so much to Astar DEGENS council member for being with us. And I'm going to disappear. The stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks everybody for being here. Today I'm going to talk about a NFT project on Astar called Astar DEGENS. They're the first 10K collection on Astar and launched one of the first NFT projects to launch last year in February on Astar. So the Astar DEGENS is a membership only through NFTs DAO, and we call ourselves a community VC DAO. That means we work with a treasury, a large treasury. We invest in different projects, and then we share the investment, pretty much income we receive from these projects, whether they be tokens or other forms, with our NFT holders. So since the beginning, we've always had a dedication to Astar and Astar projects. We try to maximize our output with our community and try to benefit the Astar network and the teams on there. So we act as an incubator as well. And I'll talk about the teams we've helped doing that. And our mantra is that we are relentless, we work as one, and we're the Astar DEGENS. So the DAO treasury is one of the main components of Astar DEGENS. We use Astar network for basically our long-term, short-term and long-term income. They have a feature called DApp staking. And so I'll go through that a little bit more later as well. But through DApp staking, we're able to generate income every single day. And so we average around 12K a month. And at sometimes, depending on the token price, it's a lot higher than that. So our DAO treasury is sustainable, and we use these funds for these investments, as well as smaller activities. The utility of our NFT is related to our treasury. Every NFT holder can vote with their NFT. And we have a unique distinction between DAOs because our largest holder probably holds less than 200 of the 10,000 NFTs. So there's no actually big whales that could influence the votes and the proposals. The average holder holds around 5 to 15 NFTs. So this is a spectacular number, and they're longtime holders, and we're also distributed really well. Out of the 10,000 NFTs, we have about 2,800 holders. We're happy with that number. And we also collaborate with other projects, not just on Astar. We've collaborated with teams on Moonbeam, like Moonfit, Canary Network Agency, and so on. So the benefits to holding a Astar DEGENS NFT, which we like to call ourselves a blue chip. We've been around more than a year, and we've been pretty persistent and consistent with the rewards. And the monthly rewards started later last year. For holding an NFT, you get monthly rewards that come from our treasury. Because our treasury grows daily, we're able to do this. So right now, everyone's averaging around 29 to 30 Astar tokens per month per NFT they hold. The quarterly DF staking bonus. Because we have a treasury that grows using the staking, the DF staking feature on Astar, the more that people stake on our DApp, on the Astar portal or the gateway, the more rewards they get every 3 months. So this is an incentive to have people come stake on us and lock their tokens, because it benefits the treasury, it benefits the community, and it benefits the projects we invest in as well. That means we have a larger treasury to help out the projects on Astar. So this bonus is nice. It equates to already you're gaining from staking on whichever DApp on the portal. So this is an extra, a little bit more per quarter. Voting, as I said, you get to vote for each NFT you hold. You get returns from the investments. The 4 investments we made throughout our first year, the NFT holder will receive tokens from those projects. And that's actually coming up soon, where we're going to announce, like, hey, we're going to do the airdrop of our partner tokens that we invested in. We feel like it's a good time to do it, and we're going to take input from the community, and we're going to vote on it, because it's all a community decision. Thanks to our community member, longtime community member, Sababa is his name, or his handle. He produces monthly account reports. So he's the accountant on the team in the community. And I'll show a sample of that accounting that he does. So we keep everything transparent. All the information, every transaction that's made, every airdrop that's made can all be found in a simple Google Drive and Google Sheet, and confirmed as well. So this is the app staking, and I won't get into the mechanics too much, but Astar Network works on an inflation model similar to Ethereum. It produces consistently new tokens. So that inflation model has a component where a percentage of it goes to the official DApps that are listed. And to be listed on this DApp page, you have to be voted in by the community. So there's around 41 official DApps that are listed. And on these DApps, you could choose whichever one you want and stake your Astar. Each one will have the same percentage of rewards. And so we have one there. We were, I think, the second or third one ever to be listed. So if you're interested, feel free to stake on us. You'll receive a reward every 3 months, a bonus on top of your already staking percentage. And you can find our NFTs on tofunft.com. And I'll share that as well. And you can read the rest of the things we have done. We've done charitable and good projects as well. We've done collaborations with a metaverse called Cosmize here, and we have more on the pipeline too. Again, always with the community input, and they make the final decision. Okay, let me share another screen. Here's where you could find our NFTs, tofunft.com. And you can switch over to Astar, and you can see our NFTs here. We have 11.34 million Astar in value. Our floor is higher than the mint price, and has been that way almost since the beginning of the launch, the minting of Astar DEGENS. So this is something we're really happy about. Only about 12% are listed. So we have a good holder to list ratio. We're proud of that as well. And these are what the degenerate DEGENS look like. apes. And you could find which ones are listed there as well. And lastly, I'll go over, let me switch my screen one more time. Here we go. Hope everyone could see it. These are the reports that our accountant does, and our accountant receives compensation for this every month. These reports have everything, including how much is being airdropped to the token holders, the NFT holders, if it has been paid, the rewards. So as you can see, the inflation model, our treasury is growing consistently, and so have the stakers. There's been more stakers overall staking on our DApp, so that means there's a higher reward distribution. In November, we sent out 17 tokens per NFT, and now we're up to 29 tokens per NFT. So we're reaching that point where it's doubled in the 6 to 7 months that we've been doing this. And hopefully I'm not going past my time. Let me keep going. So those are the NFT rewards, and that's always public information as well. And then I'll give an example of the updates for our community in general. These were from May, so it's a little outdated, but we'll make the new graphics soon for the most recent distribution. So again, we're on Astar Network because we truly believe it is a network for DApps, for DApp builders, for communities like ours, and to create an income or a revenue stream through DApp staking. So our treasury has lived through this bear market, and we're standing at, I think, about 225K in USD value. And that's not including our partner tokens. So at this point, when we reached our 6 months of nonstop rewards, we've given 1.3 million Astar to the DEGENS and 500,000 to the DApp stakers, all from our treasury. So just by them holding it, they don't have to do anything. They don't have to stake their NFT anywhere. They just have to hold it, and the rewards come to them automatically. Our stakers have increased. At this point, there was 15,000 USD worth across those 2.8 or 2,800 stakers. So that's always encouraging to see. And there was 200 million staked on us. So because of this large number of Astar tokens staked on us, we've been able to reward consistently and highly. And here you can see that it's been increasing, the rewards, just like I mentioned. The NFT rewards follow kind of the same pattern with the DApp staking rewards, and they equate to almost the same, 15,000 overall at the 6 month mark. We've done collaborations with a famous manga artist as well earlier last year. So we were featured in the manga. So was the founder of Astar, Sota Watanabe. And so we've made decisions as a community together. This was an NFT that we bidded on and won. And so we've done activities like this as well. We hold AMAs with different projects. This one, in this case, was in April with Braindex. So we highlight different projects and bring attention and exposure to them as well. Okay, and yes, I think that's a good point for me to stop. Feel free to join our community. We are active in the Discord. You can find us and all information on our website as well. And we welcome anyone and anyone. So feel free to jump in. And we have currently 5 council members, and we all contribute in different ways. So feel free to, if you're interested in that or nominating somebody or voting on somebody, as well, we're going to have nominations for new council members because we reset every 6 months the whole council member seating. And thank you for listening.
That was amazing. Thank you, Rams, another time for being with us in this long week. And thank you for the introduction to the Astar DEGENS ecosystem. That was amazing. I love this ecosystem and the adventure capital that you and the council are creating with all the community. So yeah, that's great. Now we have a question here. It's about the Astar DEGENS. There's a question here that says about a play-to-earn game is in Astar DEGENS. There's any idea there to create something like this, or any GameFi project with the Astar DEGENS, some collaboration? Do you know something?
Yeah, we have a good friendship, and I admire this person a lot, Leo from NeuroLaunch project, which is incorporating the Astar DEGENS into his basically gamify metaverse / NFT project. So you can see some screenshots of the Astar DEGEN 3D model in his world on their Twitter account as well. So that's partially gaming as well, and a new area of exploration for the Astar DEGENS. In the past, we've had discussions about having a 2D scroller game. The founder VD was working on that as well. And then also with our partnership with Cosmize, we've always discussed the possibility of having Astar DEGENS, and similar to creating an avatar with something Astar DEGEN related. They created furniture in the shape of a gorilla and some aspects of the Astar DEGEN for their metaverse rooms. So if you go on tofunft.com, you could see Astar DEGEN furniture, a couch. And so we've had these interesting partnerships that relate to gaming for sure, but anything concrete, not yet, but any proposal for gaming is welcome as well.
That's perfect. So now the question to finalize the today's space, it's where do you see Astar DEGENS, the whole Astar network and Polkadot ecosystem, if you want to introduce there too, in 4 or 5 years approximately?
I do believe that this bear market was a good filter to capture and to see which Astar DEGENS and community members are participatory and committed and are interested. So I think in the next 5 years, we're gonna hone in on these future and current council members who are gonna stick around. It's gonna grow. We believe in Astar, and that I think our treasury is gonna be very valuable because we've been sort of stocking up on a lot of Astar during this bear. And because of this, I think we could make, as a community, decisions on to hire talent and explore different types of investments and just continue the pattern. So I think our NFTs we're pretty certain are going to be super valuable. 10K isn't a lot when a whole country like Japan, let's say, gets involved and are looking for NFT projects. So we're kind of bullish on ourselves because we survived this one for sure.
Yeah, that's great. So thank you so much, Ron, for being with us today. As I say, out of times. So and see you tomorrow with this Spanish day. Nos vemos mañana.
Listo. Thank you, everyone. Gracias.
Thank you. And goodbye. So now this is the ending of the week event in English. Thank you so much for all to being with us today. These amazing days of this long week. I think that this was really interesting for all the people in Dotsama Astar ecosystem, SORA, also that have a good presence here. To interact with each other, search for synergies into projects, and create a better and a stronger community. I think that is the goal of the week event. So hope you like this, the week event too. And we have a small clip for you now to conclude this, the week event too. And see you in the week event 3. So there we go. And now, thank you so much for being with us today and all the week event in English. And see you tomorrow to the Spanish community in the Spanish-speaking day. That we have really amazing project. We have SORA, we have Astar, we have Ternoa with us, and we will discuss also the Polkadot ecosystem. So thank you so much for being with us, and see you really soon.